I don't know how those people that actually post every single time during house job did it, but it's not something I found feasible.
Hi, I'm the Tracy, and God is in my story.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. So it's 1 year after the housemanship year. I mean, I did house job for 1 whole year, and I'm just grateful to God that I survived. I mean, people actually died during house job because of stress or because the healthcare system in Nigeria is really bad. I mean, it's gutted, and we actually need to change it. And that's why I'm here to tell you, starting house job, what to do and what not to do, or rather, I'll just say it's my experience and how God has helped me through it all. Oh, I don't know how those people that actually post every single time during house job did it, but it's not something I found feasible. That's why I was not posting on YouTube, but I was posting more on my IG and TikTok just to keep myself more motivated. And so once it's time to come back for this YouTube, I actually want to be on YouTube. I mean, I miss this family here. You guys, I'm so sorry for being absent. So let's just go. And number 1, do not prove you know a lot. Don't try to prove like you know too much, because the truth is you don't know anything, because you're here to learn. And if you try to prove like, oh, I know too much, I know that much, and you will just end up not learning as much as you want to learn. So my coping mechanism was that I'll tell you I don't know. Even if I think I know per se, I would just be like, I don't know. The little I know, I'll be like, okay, this is what I know, but is there anything more I should know? That's how I ask my seniors. So I let them teach me, because I'm here to learn. This is the only year that you have to learn to be better, but you keep learning in residency, by the way. And then 2 is, do not be afraid to ask questions. Don't even be afraid to ask questions, like things you're not sure of. I'm like, okay, sometimes I call my colleagues, I'm like, okay, how do I give this medication, how do I administer this, is this better? It doesn't make you a bad doctor, it makes you a good doctor, because that moment you've learned that you can teach others as well. So don't be afraid to ask questions. That's it. So guys, number 3 is find a coping mechanism, because the work can be quite demanding and stressful. So each time, sometimes I could just be so worn out, I just want to lay on my bed, and which is very beautiful to do, but find something that will not make you question, why did I even start? Why did I even join this profession in the first place? Because it could be a lot for you. And what I did is, because I love music, so I just see myself in music, worshiping and doing that as well. 2, I started up a business, or I already had an ongoing business, so I could fall back to it and distract myself from the whole stress of work, because it's my hobby. Then another thing I did was creating content on IG and TikTok. I was just creating content so I could get distracted from the stress. So I was distracting myself from stress. So I coping with that, it was a lot. And especially when I was in internal medicine, that stress was a lot, because I was the only person there, and it was just, I keep saying it's a lot. It was actually a lot. And the last thing you should do is to rely on God. I mean, God was just helping me, giving me strength, because I also had stress-induced gastritis. I mean, it was a lot. It was painful. In fact, I cried. My prayer, especially one thing for Christian doctors especially, is trying to say, okay, I lose my fire for God while in house job. I understood earlier, because God taught me while I was in school taught me how, if seasons of my life changes, how do I redirect or strategize my devotion just to fit in place, and not try to give it an excuse and then fall back and backslide. Rather, I would say I did not backslide. I'm still in God. I'm grateful to God for helping me, giving me the grace of that salvation, because the thing I did while I was tired, I would just lay back and like, even if I cannot say that my long hours of prayers or spend time studying the word, which is not an excuse, not enough excuse, because sometimes you see yourself doom scrolling and the rest. So what I did is that I would just, sometimes I put AirPods when I'm on call just to hear, put on messages, put on worship music to be worshiping while I am working and I am communicating with God in that hour, and I'm not losing it. I made sure I tried as much as possible not to miss church, because I mean, you could just easily feel, oh, I'm getting paid, I'm having everything I want, then you just decide to one day away from the presence of God, which is something I was really intentional about not doing, wandering away from the presence of God. It was quite scary because a lot of people come and say, how could be so, the stress could make you do that. But it's an answer. I mean, house job alone is an answer to prayers. You've been praying about this thing for 6 whole years while you were in medical school. You're finally there. Why should the blessing take you away from the presence of God? No, now it's something we have to be grateful for and ask God. So something I learned is that why seasons change, God is a God of season and times. So you change to and meet him where he is and try to look for what's the best way I can work with God. How can I still meet? So I spend time praying, just speaking in tongues, moving. This is a bonus point. Why rotating in all the departments? Just try to look for where your heart is, where you know that. Just picture yourself. If this is my life, 10 years, 20 years, can I spend 20 years of my life doing this particular job? Is it in surgery? Is it in medicine? Is it in ONG? Is it in pediatrics? It's just something you just have to ask God about. Just ask yourself, did I really enjoy this posting? It could help. It just could help, and then maybe you could get your answers as well. So build relationship with your seniors, try to engage them so they will help you in the future. It's very important. Invest in relationship with good seniors. I was really blessed with working with amazing registrars and senior registrars. Like that was my grace in the house job, because despite being stressed, I had good registrars that I could talk to freely and wouldn't feel scared of as well. So that was my point in a house job. So that was my grace. Okay, the 2 things you shouldn't do. 1, do not run away from work. 1, do not stop trying to run away from work. You know that phrase we all make, the reward for hard work is more work. I'm not saying where you're stressed that you should continue being stressed. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you know that you need to learn this work and you're supposed to do it, just do it with your heart. The service we do as doctors is unto God. No amount of money can actually equate to what you're doing as a doctor. That's how I love to put it. So if I shift my mind to the fact that this job is not just about money, but we need to be respected enough and be paid something very profitable to what we are doing. I'm just saying that it shouldn't be the posture of your mind. Lastly, patients are not your friends. They are not your friends. I actually tell people I cannot be friends with everybody, but I can be friendly with everybody. Patients, relative, patients, they are not your friend. They are your patients. That's why you have to bring in compassion, you have to bring in kindness while working. And you're working with enthusiasm and because, of course, love. But they are not your friends. They are not your friends. These stories could come up later of why I mean they're actually not your friends. But as a doctor, my doctors, I really need you to understand patients, relatives are not your friends, because they could deny you, especially once it comes to how much you've put in so much to invest. And then maybe I don't want to use the word a little mistake, but I just want to say one thing could happen and they would deny you and like, oh, you were actually nonchalant. It has happened. It happens every single time. I mean, just know they're not your friends. Even if the patient is your relative, they are not your friend at that point in time. it happens. Okay, so this is one thing I'm grateful that I learned by starting house job. They actually know your friends, but I can be friendly with my patients. I mean, I like to be kind because not everybody comes to hospital with a clear mindset, so that we understand. That's why I'm saying they're actually not your friends. Do you get that? They're not your friends. So that's it for today. Okay guys, I'll be back with more videos. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful, and I just hope you carry it along your way, and good luck with your house job. Yeah, and just know that God bless you. I'll be back with more videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Please share this to those starting house job. One more thing, happy new year, and I hope you've started making your new year plans with God and how to direct you throughout the whole year, because we cannot move in this 2026 without God. I mean, you should just do it. Okay, you cannot, don't. Exactly. I'm the Uche, you see, and I'll be back with more videos. Bye.